Many people hold the belief that strength is defined by an unshakable exterior, by never shedding tears, never expressing emotions, and never allowing oneself to appear vulnerable. According to this view, strong individuals are those who stand tall and unwavering, regardless of the difficulties they face. Society often associates crying with fragility, assuming that those who show their emotions are incapable of enduring hardship. However, the truth is quite the opposite. True strength does not lie in suppressing emotions, pretending that pain does not exist, or forcing oneself to appear invincible. Strength is not about denying feelings, but about having the courage to acknowledge, embrace, and process them. It takes far more bravery to face one's emotions head-on than to bury them beneath a mask of indifference. Those who refuse to cry may not necessarily be strong. Rather, they may be afraid of confronting their deepest vulnerabilities. The strongest people are not the ones who never cry, but those who recognize that crying is a natural and necessary part of the human experience. They understand that expressing their emotions does not make them weak. Instead, it allows them to release pent-up pain, heal from their struggles, and move forward with a renewed sense of clarity and resilience. True strength is the ability to be open, to feel deeply, and to continue standing firm, even after allowing oneself to break down momentarily. 1. Crying is not weakness, it's courage. In a world that often equates toughness with emotional restraint, crying is frequently perceived as a sign of weakness. Many people believe that those who shed tears lack resilience, that vulnerability is something to be ashamed of, and that strong individuals should always maintain their composure no matter what they are going through. This belief is deeply ingrained in many cultures, where from a young age, people, especially men, are taught to suppress their emotions, to toughen up, and to never let others see them cry. However, the reality is quite different. Expressing emotions, including through tears, requires a great deal of courage. It takes strength to be honest with yourself, to acknowledge what you are feeling, and to allow yourself to be vulnerable. Facing emotions head-on, rather than suppressing them, is an act of bravery because it forces you to confront your pain, process it, and work through it, rather than letting it build up inside. Those who dare to cry are not weak, they are, in fact, among the strongest. They understand that emotions are an essential part of being human, and that embracing them leads to growth, healing, and self-awareness. Instead of hiding their pain behind a facade of indifference, they choose to accept it, express it, and use it as a source of strength. True strength is not about being emotionless. It is about having the courage to feel deeply, to be vulnerable, and to emerge from difficult moments with greater resilience and wisdom. 2. True resilience comes from emotional release, not suppression. People who constantly try to appear strong by suppressing their emotions often endure silent suffering that others may never notice. They put on a brave face, convincing themselves and those around them that they are unaffected by pain, disappointment, or hardship. However, beneath this exterior of strength, their unspoken struggles continue to build up, creating an invisible weight that grows heavier over time. They may believe that hiding their emotions makes them resilient, but in reality, they are only delaying the inevitable consequences of emotional suppression. When emotions are repeatedly bottled up and ignored, they don't simply disappear. Instead, they manifest in other ways, often in the form of stress, anxiety, mood swings, and even physical health problems. Studies have shown that prolonged emotional suppression can lead to high blood pressure, sleep disturbances, digestive issues, and a weakened immune system. Mentally, it can contribute to depression, emotional numbness, and an overall sense of detachment from oneself and others. What seems like an act of strength keeping emotions locked away actually weakens a person over time, making it harder for them to cope with future challenges. On the other hand, those who allow themselves to cry and express their feelings in a healthy way often experience significant emotional relief. Crying is a natural mechanism for releasing built-up tension and frustration, providing the body and mind with a way to process overwhelming emotions. It acts as an emotional detox, helping people cleanse their inner turmoil and move forward with a renewed sense of clarity. Those who embrace their emotions, rather than suppressing them, often find themselves more in tune with their mental well-being, allowing them to develop stronger emotional resilience. By permitting themselves to cry when needed, they are not only releasing burdens, but also giving themselves permission to heal. This healing process enables them to regain perspective, rebuild their inner strength, and approach life's challenges with a clearer mind and a lighter heart. True strength does not come from pretending that pain does not exist. It comes from facing it, expressing it, and ultimately overcoming it. 3. Great souls feel deeply. Throughout the course of history, some of the most influential leaders, visionaries, and changemakers have been deeply emotional individuals whose strength was not derived from the suppression of their feelings, but from their profound connection to their emotions. These extraordinary figures understood that true leadership and resilience are not achieved through emotional detachment or by hiding one's vulnerabilities. Instead, their strength was rooted in the ability to embrace their emotions fully, to feel deeply for others, and to transform that emotional energy into powerful actions for change. They knew that genuine strength stems from an open heart, not a hardened exterior, and that real courage lies in facing one's emotions head-on rather than retreating from them. Nelson Mandela, one of the most revered figures in modern history, was a living testament to this truth. Throughout his decades of imprisonment and struggle against apartheid, Mandela faced unimaginable hardship. Yet, his spirit never broke, not because he was immune to pain, but because he allowed himself to feel the full weight of the injustices he endured. His emotions were not a source of weakness. They were a powerful force that drove his relentless pursuit of equality, justice, and peace. Mandela cried not only for his people, but also for the countless lives lost to the oppression and hatred he fought against. His tears were a sign of his deep empathy and love for humanity, reflecting his unwavering commitment to a future where all people could live in freedom and dignity. These tears were not a symbol of surrender, but of a deep moral conviction, a belief that a better world could be built, even in the face of suffering. Mother Teresa, another figure whose life and work changed the world, also demonstrated this profound connection to her emotions. Known for her selfless devotion to the poor, sick, and suffering, she dedicated her life to serving the most vulnerable members of society. But what made Mother Teresa's mission so extraordinary was not just her tireless work, but the way she allowed herself to feel the pain of those she helped. She did not simply passively observe suffering from a distance. She immersed herself in it, letting it affect her deeply, and sharing in the burdens of those she cared for. Her tears were not a sign of despair or helplessness. They were a reflection of her open heart, her willingness to embrace the world's sorrow, and her deep empathy for the human condition. By allowing herself to feel the weight of the suffering she encountered every day, she was able to transform that emotional response into an even greater sense of purpose. Her tears fueled her mission of compassion, inspiring millions around the world to serve others with kindness and love. Even the most courageous warriors in history, those who have fought on the front lines of battle, have been moved to tears not from fear or weakness, but from the profound realization of the true cost of war. These warriors, often regarded for their physical strength and valor, understood that war is not just a fight for land or power, but a tragic loss of life, of innocence, and of humanity. They mourned the deaths of their comrades, wept for the civilians caught in the crossfire, and grieved for the pain and suffering they had witnessed. Their tears were not signs of defeat, but reflections of their humanity. They cried because they cared deeply for the people they fought to protect, and because they recognized the devastation that violence brings to the world. Despite their grief, these warriors did not give up. Instead, they channeled their emotions into a greater resolve, continuing to fight with courage, integrity, and a hope for a more peaceful world. True strength does not come from feeling less, it comes from feeling deeply and still choosing to move forward in the face of pain and adversity. The most impactful individuals in history were not those who suppressed their emotions and tried to present an unshakable facade. Rather, they were the ones who allowed themselves to feel the full range of human emotions, from love to sorrow, from joy to heartbreak, and still found the strength to act with purpose and conviction. They knew that to be truly resilient, one must embrace the depth of their emotions, for it is through this process that they are able to channel their feelings into something greater than themselves. The greatest souls in history have not been those who built walls around their emotions to protect themselves from pain. Rather, they were the ones who, despite their vulnerabilities, allowed themselves to feel deeply and act on those emotions to make a difference in the world. True strength lies in the ability to experience the full spectrum of human emotions, to be moved by the suffering of others, to feel compassion in the face of injustice, and to transform those feelings into action. This is the essence of leadership, resilience, and positive change, the ability to confront the emotional challenges of life, to channel that emotional energy into meaningful change, and to rise up stronger with each new challenge. The stories of these great leaders, visionaries, and warriors remind us that it is not by suppressing our emotions or hiding our vulnerabilities that we become strong. It is by allowing ourselves to feel deeply, to connect with others on a human level, and to use that emotional connection to propel us toward a better future. True strength is not about being invulnerable. It is about being emotionally alive, engaged, and deeply connected to the world and people around us. It is in embracing our emotions, both the pain and the joy, that we find the courage to move forward, to heal, and to transform ourselves in the world for the better. 4. Vulnerability creates true connections. Tears are not just a way to release emotions. They are also a powerful bridge that connects people on a deeper level. In a world where many feel the need to wear masks and hide their true feelings, the act of shedding tears is a rare and profound expression of authenticity. When you allow yourself to be emotionally open, you give others permission to do the same. You create a space where genuine human connection can flourish, one that is built not on pretense or forced strength, but on honesty, empathy, and shared vulnerability. Many people fear showing their true emotions because they believe it will make them appear weak or incapable. Society often teaches us that vulnerability is something to be avoided, that to be respected, we must always seem in control. However, the reality is quite the opposite. Vulnerability does not strip us of power. It makes us more human. It allows us to connect with others in ways that surface-level interactions never could. When we let down our guard and reveal our true selves, including our fears, pain, and struggles, we become more relatable, more approachable, and more deeply understood. Some of the strongest relationships, whether in friendships, family bonds, or romantic partnerships, are built on this foundation of emotional openness. When two people can be vulnerable with each other, their connection is strengthened by trust and authenticity. They do not fear judgment or rejection, because they know they are accepted for who they truly are, not for the image they project to the world. Tears, in this sense, are not just an outlet for emotional pain or joy. They serve as a testament to our shared human experience. They remind us that no one is immune to hardship, and that at our core, we all seek understanding, comfort, and connection. Rather than being a sign of fragility, tears can be a symbol of courage, the courage to be real, to embrace our emotions, and to forge meaningful bonds with those around us. 5. Crying is the first step to healing. Sometimes tears are not a symbol of hopelessness or defeat, but rather a powerful tool for self-healing. In moments of deep emotional turmoil or overwhelming stress, shedding tears can be a vital release that allows us to process and cope with our feelings. Far from being a sign of weakness, crying can be a form of emotional detox, a way for the body and mind to cleanse themselves from the weight of unspoken grief, anxiety, or frustration. It's a natural response to inner pain, and it's essential for emotional well-being. When we cry, we are not simply indulging in sadness or self-pity. We are allowing ourselves to release pent-up emotions that have been building up inside. This release has a profound therapeutic effect. It can lighten the heart, providing a sense of relief as the emotional pressure eases. The mind, often clouded with stress, confusion, or mental exhaustion, becomes clearer after a good cry. In these moments of emotional vulnerability, we can gain new perspective, calm our racing thoughts, and find inner peace. Crying creates space for healing. It's a process of acknowledging the pain, feeling it fully, and then letting it go. This emotional purging prepares us to face future challenges with greater resilience. After crying, we often find that we are better able to approach our difficulties with a fresh mindset, a renewed sense of clarity, and a stronger resolve. The burdens that once felt insurmountable seem more manageable, and we are able to move forward with the knowledge that we've allowed ourselves to heal. Rather than depleting our strength, crying helps restore it. It's through the act of expressing our emotions that we make room for recovery and renewal. Every tear shed is a step closer to emotional healing and a reminder that we can rise again, stronger than before. Crying is not a sign of being broken. It is an affirmation of our capacity to heal, to recover, and to continue living with strength and hope no matter the challenges that lie ahead. Conclusion: strength is about feeling and rising again. The strongest people are not the ones who have never cried, nor are they the ones who appear to be unaffected by life's struggles. True strength is not about concealing your emotions or pretending that everything is okay when it's not. Rather, the strongest individuals are those who possess the courage to face their emotions head-on, to allow themselves to truly feel what they are experiencing, and to express those feelings when it's necessary. They do not fear vulnerability or see it as a weakness. Instead, they understand that to be truly strong, one must be able to confront the full range of human emotions: joy, sadness, pain, love, and everything in between. Real strength lies in the ability to embrace and acknowledge emotions, to not shy away from moments of vulnerability, and to allow yourself to feel deeply. It is about recognizing that emotions are a natural and necessary part of life, and that experiencing them fully is not a sign of weakness, but of emotional maturity. The capacity to feel, to hurt, to grieve, and to shed tears is an integral part of the healing process. Those who are emotionally open and willing to express their feelings are better equipped to process and learn from their pain, ultimately emerging stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Strength is not about being emotionless or impervious to life's difficulties. In fact, it's the opposite. It is the bravery to embrace those emotions, the pain, the grief, the fear, and still choose to move forward. It is about accepting that life will throw challenges your way, and that you will not always be strong in the traditional sense. Sometimes being strong means allowing yourself to feel weak, to cry, and to acknowledge your vulnerabilities. And then, when the tears have fallen and the weight of your emotions has been released, you find the strength to rise again more empowered, more self-aware, and ready to face whatever comes next. So, if one day you feel like crying, do not hold it in. Let yourself cry, not because you are weak, but because you are strong enough to embrace your emotions, to let go of the burden they bring, and to heal from them. Crying is not a sign that you have failed. It is proof that you are human and that you are courageous enough to experience, express, and ultimately heal from the challenges that life presents. In those moments, you are not only allowing yourself to grieve or release pain, but you are also making space for renewal and strength to emerge. So, cry when you need to, because in doing so, you are choosing to heal, grow, and rise stronger than ever before.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.